My name is Berry, and today we are going to be watching Kickstarter's worst products. The only Kickstarter I really remember was a Homestuck one a really long time ago, so I'm excited to dive in and see the inventions of the internet.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Come and sit down because today we're going to be talking about Kickstarter. Crowdfunding websites have been prevalent for years now. Many nonprofits, startups, and even lone individuals have turned to them for help making their creative dreams a reality.
I can't remember though. I know one of them, if they don't get all the monies for the project, they refund you. Does Kickstarter refund you if the project fails? Because I know there's the other one. Oh, GoFundMe. Which one do they actually refund you? Only Kickstarter I remember was Undertale's. Undertale had a Kickstarter? I think it does. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Because I know one of them gives the money back, and then the other one's like, see ya later, bitch.
Well, I know I did. 6 years ago now. I did a Kickstarter, made a show. Not sure if anyone remembers it, but it was a show nonetheless.
Cool.
And we did it, and we hit the goals. And I found out that that was not a, that's not a normal thing. A lot of Kickstarters don't usually go that way, which luckily I didn't.
Wait, 40% of Kickstarters don't even deliver a final product? What the hell? Why? I'm just sitting there waiting for my burger flipping machine 9,000 forever?
Asked for, I feel like a whole hell of, I should have asked for way more, which also, hindsight, making an animated show is way more expensive than what I asked for. I digress. Now, just about anyone can have an idea and see it realized without having to have an abundance of capital or influence. So as long as you fit your campaign into Kickstarter's guidelines, you're good to go. There was a period of time too, back in like the early 2010s maybe, there was like an overabundance of people doing it as like a get-rich-quick scheme.
I have 2 ideas, and I have shared them before, but I believe in my product, so I will share them again. You can type a smiley face if you agree with this one. Okay, you know how every single time you go to the ice skating rink, if you're an inexperienced skater, it sucks because when you walk around, you gotta walk around on 2 little sticks? What if they made ice skates, but the blade part of the ice skate went into the shoe like this? And then they like deployed out so you could wear them as regular shoes, then boom, ice skates. Yeah, Healy ice skates. What's with the frowning faces? I gotta have some people who believe in me, man. Second one. Bar, but like Subway, you actually customize your own nachos. Everybody loves nachos. And there's so many things you can put on top of them. Subway for nachos. Unfortunately, I'm out. Don't those exist? Yeah, and mine's gonna be one of them, but I had this idea before any of the other ones existed. I just didn't have capital, okay?
I feel like now it's become a legitimate way of, God, dude, self-published books? Unbelievable.
What was that?
Now it's become a legitimate way of, God, dude, self-published books? Unbelievable.
Okay, we got Lullaby Omnibus. Am I loving somebody on a bus? Kingdom of Briars and Roses. I know a Briar YouTuber. And yes, it's gay. What is the toxic yaoi?
Unbelievable. Board games. Holy hell. Comics and books and that kind of stuff. Oh my God. Kickstarter's like the best. Whether it's a piece of luggage.
Impossibly thin and strong trolley hybrid soft hard construction. Okay. What if it was a suitcase that you could sit on and drive around like a Mario Kart? That is actually something that we could, like, I don't know, have a Kickstarter for. Wouldn't that be fun at the airport?
A new
that exists. Okay, how does everything exist? How do people come up with new ideas?
piece of technology or a video game, many people have built entire franchises that have started out on a Kickstarter page. Indie games like Shovel Knight raised over $300,000 in 2019, creating a hit game that has now evolved into an entire series. Which, if you think about it, $300,000, you know, I think for a lot of people, I mean, it is a lot of money, but goddamn, I mean, so many games, it's like 20 million, you know? I mean, I got 300K and be able to make that is pretty impressive. Even just this year, games like Gundos are soaring over their Kickstarter goals, showing just how much people are willing to open their wallets to a project that they believe in. Not all projects go smoothly, however.
What about a berry tentacle product? I'd buy that. You should see my Twitter DMs. Hi, Barry. We want to partner with you for beep. It's pretty bad. Yeah, don't worry. Some people do want to have the baddest dragon BerryCrepe tentacle version.
You may have heard of infamous campaigns like the Coolest Cooler, which raised a staggering $13 million, only to fully shut down years later after a litany of poor management decisions.
That's not cool.
And that's kind of where you get into. Also, too, that's kind of a double-edged sword sometimes. You reach a goal, and if it goes way over, you're like, I have no idea how to scale this. And then you become an entrepreneur versus a guy who's like, it was a pretty cool cooler.
Yeah.
Put a speaker in the cooler. It's pretty sweet. With people,
I know where that would be really cool, though. No pun intended. Whenever I was a little kid, and yes, don't say 900 years ago, I know, but I remember that my mom would take us down to like the river and we would have like a tube and we would go down and like listen to music and have like, not me have alcohol, but all the parents would have alcohol. We'd have Capri Sun, just straight up like shoot. But a cooler with a speaker for going down to the Guadalupe is pretty pog.
people's generosity being the focal point, you probably aren't surprised that there are all sorts of stories in which people take advantage of it. So today we're going to look at the wild world of Kickstarter, from product failures to full-on scams, and even we have to throw in a couple of mental breakdowns. For the very few Kickstarters that are actually practical, there are thousands of ridiculous projects that either fix a niche problem or...
Was that an AI dog translator? My dog would literally be like, treat, 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 outside, 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 outside. That would drive me up the wall.
Or do like nothing. They don't do a single thing. The licky brush, for example, is a piece of rubber shaped like a tongue that you put in your mouth so you can lick your own cat.
Why not just lick your cat without the mouthpiece? Like, wouldn't that be more intimate for you and the animal?
Which I don't know, like, why would you want to do that?
It's a novelty product.
Yeah, but what's the novelty? Like, the issue is not grooming your cat, but it's the idea of, like, even if it's protected my mouth, do I want to lick my cat? It's for people that are like, is it role play stuff?
It's like, I want to show my cat.
Oh, it looks really cursed. That is like a Poppy Playtime character design. I really do not like that.
Cat how it feels when he licks me.
Ew!
So you put the thing in your tongue.
The cat doesn't even like it.
And you pretend to lick him, and it's cute. You guys bond over it.
You like that, Samuel? The project received over 2,000 backers and raised $52,000, and it even appeared on Shark Tank. What they say on that? What did Mark Cuban say about that? Did that
I know Barbara said she was probably out. Let's be honest.
not get out of that deal? I want to know what happened.
But 300K, that's too much, and for those reasons, I'm out.
There's also Jellowware, which are disposable cups you are supposed to eat and...
That's what that is? I thought that was a Diva cup. I was like, dang, they getting deeper and deeper.
Instead of throwing away, and the creators came up with this idea after entering a Jello mold competition. In total, Jellowware had 229 backers and raised over $10,000. I feel like Jellowware and like a bowl of mac and cheese doesn't make sense to me.
Ew, it's probably just for like shots or like New Year's parties. I'm not an alcoholic, by the way. I just see how things get implemented in the world of alcoholics.
You know, if it's supposed to be like a bowl, I mean, I guess with a drink, but even then it's like,
does it get
Jellowware.
sticky?
Yeah, it would get sticky. How would it not? You're holding it, you know? This message is sponsored by Raycon. Spring is here, which means it's time to refresh your routine and spend more time outside. Whether you're on your daily walk, running errands, or just soaking in the sun, baby. These are open earbuds that let you stay connected to your surroundings while enjoying your favorite music or podcast. Raycon's essential open earbuds keep your ears open while still delivering crystal clear sound. Whoa. Regular earbuds block out everything, but with Raycon, you can stay aware of traffic.
I just did that yesterday. Dude, I had to mount a bunch of stuff on my wall for like the tracking cameras that are coming in. And just to let you know, I didn't make any mistakes. I drilled my fingers only 2 times. I only dropped at least 4 hidden screws that are on the floor somewhere that I'm going to find eventually. And no giant hole into the bathroom like last time.
And your surroundings without sacrificing sound quality. And with the open ear functionality, their earbuds are designed to be taken outside. They're perfect for a workout or just for a run. And their super lightweight design means that they won't slip out when you're moving fast or breaking a sweat. Raycon also has multi-point connection, allowing you to switch from your phone to a tablet or PC with ease once it's time to work again. But the best part is that Raycon delivers premium audio quality at half the price. Plus, the open earbuds case has a 36-hour battery life, giving you non-stop listening throughout your day. way. I love using
Nice.
Raycons when I'm at work listening to my favorite smut podcast. No one in the office can hear what I'm listening to. It's awesome. Join over.
If anybody is watching this video at work, hi.
3 million customers that love Raycon and try them for yourself. The essential open earbuds are perfect for
TF is smut. Okay, well, when a boy and a girl love each other very much, or maybe like in my case, when I was growing up, a boy and a boy love each other very much, they start making out and somebody writes it down.
refreshing your routine this spring. Go to buyraycon.com/PapaMeat open to get 20% off. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and hey, let's get back to the video. Then there's also Fish on Wheels, and it's a fish tank on a low-powered RC car controlled by the fish inside.
Does the fish know he's moving? I thought fish didn't really think that much. Maybe they do. Maybe their minds are like an enigma.
Because you know they have sentience to do that. The fish tank had a camera that looked down inside the tank so to pinpoint the fish's position and control the vehicle. The developers initially wanted $70,000 and only raised about $6 grand.
Oh my god, what if the fish actually just doesn't want to be a fish anymore and he keeps making it closer and closer to the kitchen and he sees the toaster like slowly hanging off of the counter and he's like, one day you're gonna fall right in my tank.
But the project ultimately failed. This was probably because the tank couldn't be filled too high. Otherwise, the frequent jerky movements caused by the fish panicking inside would spill water all over your floor. I like how it's like it would spill water all over your floor. That's the biggest people's concern. It isn't that the fish inside's being jerked around and probably gonna fucking die as well.
I saw a video, something similar, but they put a snake.
See, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I think snakes think. Like, he's probably having fun, but like, wouldn't it be faster for him to just slither around? What would be the point of giving him arms? Like, is he gonna go play on the Switch Tua?
And gave it legs.
I don't know.
And it could walk around.
I feel like he would hate that. That goes against everything that it knows, right? Why would you need that? Another failed project is Paul, the sexiest smartphone charger on the planet. Which is just a foam bust of a man's body with the phone charger at his penis and a wall charger coming out of his asshole.
Okay, she's straight up getting right up in that plastic prostate.
The creator was seeking $8,000 in funding, but received only a little over $2,000 with a total of 12 supporters, which I will say is still a lot. I like how it's just like, we're gonna give you half a mannequin, and you can like, I guess you could fuck this if you want, or you can like finger his asshole. And some people are like, all right, fine, dude. I mean, $2 grand isn't nothing to sneeze at, right? You know. There's also the Thinking Egg, which had 4 versions, each raising well over $200,000. So we could say almost about $1 million in total. It's literally just a wooden or like metal egg that you're meant to fidget with while you're working at home. It's like a
Whenever I was a kid, my dad had these, like, are they like relaxing balls where you would like put them in your hands and they go like, and you like move around, That's like the boomer, I guess, fidget toy.
It's literally just like a stress. It's not even a stress ball. It's just, you're supposed to just like.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing.
Yeah, but they don't look as cool. Those orbs where you're like.
Ushigi.
Functionally, there is no difference between the versions except the material they're made of. And on their official website, they charge $17 per egg.
What? I could go buy a whole carton of eggs for less than $70. What the hell?
You can just go to the store. You can go to the store, play around with a regular egg, and then you get to eat it.
Yeah.
It's like, just to be honest, I mean, like, if you're talking practicality and stuff, and if you're like, well, I mean, the convenience of it, I'm like, you can just get a carton of eggs. How often would you play with the egg? And at that point, too, you know, dude, I'd get like, you can get anything. You can get an orange, you peel it and eat it.
Maybe like if you're a guy who plays with your huevos a lot, you could play like with the different huevos to like get your hand out of your pants.
Like, oh, my fat ass is just like, can you even eat the egg? I can't eat the egg. Get a chocolate egg. Eat the chocolate egg. Yeah, a little Kinder egg with the cream in it. I never liked the Kinder eggs, I'm being honest.
I don't either, but I think they got banned in the US for a while because kids were eating them and then they would choke on the plastic and they just
Yeah, the cream is not, like, burns my mouth. Well, it doesn't burn my mouth, but it like, I don't know. It's like so, it makes me so thirsty. You know what else the ones I didn't like was the chocolate oranges.
Oh, I kind of like the chocolate oranges a little bit. I would have like one slice because my dad likes them. They're just fun to peel apart.
You like the peels?
Yeah.
It never tasted that good, did it?
It's fun. Interactive.
Was this just, are we just talking creators can get inspiration from literally anywhere. Like the creators of the Grilled Cheese Press.
I feel like 90% of the items on Kickstarter are like gag gifts that you bring to just like a random office Christmas party.
Who came up with their idea after watching an episode of their favorite show, Glee, titled Grilled Cheeses, which clearly many thought the concept was amazing because the Kickstarter was able to reach its $25,000 funding.
Isn't that crazy? I see this now and I know that it's real because it's a product, but if I were to see this in the wild, I would have thought that it was AI. Some like Facebook shit post.
Goal. This is something my grandma would like, I feel like.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese. Well, now you can
like,
trick old people. Mom, look.
I think that, yeah, so that's the thing, is people probably got it as a practical joke, trick their grandmother and be like, oh, I love it, baby, like, grilled cheese. They probably won't even eat it. There have been thousands of ridiculous products on Kickstarter, but many don't compare to the NoPhone.
Oh, is this like for people who are addicted to their phone? I know they make this for people who vape, and it's like just something that you put in your mouth. You go.
Nearly 1,000 people paid a total of $18,000 for a 3D printed rectangle to combat cell phone addiction.
Yeah.
They created a pretend phone to act as a surrogate to any smart mobile device.
But if I play on that, do you think my Umas are gonna miss me?
You can clutch your comfort without having to actually use it, which is just sounds so pathetic, doesn't it? Oh.
Apparently, there's a study that shows that 3 days without your cell phone has similar effects to cocaine withdrawal.
Damn! I mean, I guess I use my phone a lot. I think it's just because if I'm doing something, I want at least some sound in the background. I just hate silence. I mean, you can tell I'm always blabbing.
I believe it too. You know what? Maybe maybe I'm knocking the rectangle too quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like a thing of non-alcoholic beer, so you can still have the simulation or
Yeah.
like the I don't
Hanging
know,
out with
the
people.
normality of drinking when you're trying to get sober. One upgrade consists of a stick-on mirror so you can take selfies. Though it was fully supported, many of the comments were disappointed.
Okay, now that part was stupid. What the hell are we doing?
Saying they either never received the product.
Ordered 2 NoPhones without selfie upgrade. Got 1 NoPhone and 2 selfie upgrade. Oh well. I got the NoPhone. It is extremely bad quality and doesn't have any weight. Damn, he'd probably threw that on the ground. Boom! Hey!
Or their mirror came scratched. Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me?
Low
My
quality
mirror.
selfie.
In 2014, the Air umbrella was advertised as a
I remember the Air umbrella! Wait, that never got finished? It was basically like an umbrella that you would hold up and then it would block all the rain because it's going
compact and lightweight alternative to the traditional umbrella. Instead of deploying a fabric material to protect you from the rain, it would instead blast a circular stream of air that would keep you dry without taking as much space.
You would like assault the person next to you with just like the splash zone.
Does that mean it's just like above you?
Yeah, so like the rain comes with like.
At that point too, I mean, like, is an umbrella that invasive?
Also, how loud is that?
I mean, to make it an actual dome, it would have to be
Really loud.
Insane. It would be
Yeah.
insanely loud, right? The design wasn't without flaws.
Wait, is this the design? Look, this is a worse drawing than my freaking ice skates from earlier.
However, no. Not only would the battery life only be between 15 to 30 minutes, but one could assume that the water being pushed away from you would just be fired onto everything in the person's vicinity. AKA
That's what I
the
thought
people
too.
all around you, or
Yeah.
I mean, everything's getting wet beside you.
See, I should play test products in real life. I can see the problems with them as soon as they are presented to me.
And as it turns out, these initial problems were far too difficult to rectify.
Refund and very sorry. No, I knew it was gonna be bad when I saw white background, black text.
Fears of it doing harm to customers led to them being unable to release the product.
graduated.
They would issue an apology and attempt to refund their supporters, but delays in doing so would cause a tidal wave of furious backers, labeling them as scammers. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
try to get there. I'm not doing it.
They are assuming people will just forget. It's been 10 years.
I mean, come on. Yeah. 100 grand. There's gotta be some crazy backers in there.
With all of these, there's like, like $10,000 reward tiers.
I have a feeling
Oh
it was like another
yeah. I think the Homestuck one had a reward tier that was like extremely expensive, and if you backed it, they would put your character in Homestuck, but then they killed them on the next panel.
Like, things that lodge into your neck. Some Kickstarters can feel downright pointless. For example, a Kickstarter campaign titled "We Demand Peace in the World Now" details the development of a smartphone app that will bring everyone together.
Pokemon Go?
Basically, people would download the free app to show that they demand peace in the world. And according to them, the app would feature their song, "We Demand Peace in the World Now," and a video of Peace Flash Mob, which honestly, I think...
Dude, it has like the same energy. And do you guys remember that Pepsi commercial from forever ago?
could do nothing but spread more hate, more vitriol. If I saw that video, I'd be like, I think the world's in a pretty fucking good place. If this is what peace in the world, I don't want that. If that's what peace in the world is, no thank you. Their goal is to have people around the world memorize this dance as well as the lyrics to the song, so they can start organizing their own flash mobs to spread the idea of peace. Their ultimate goal was to convince people to all do this song and dance one.
I'm gonna be honest, I am not a good dancer. Like, this is kind of hard. Like, can we do the Macarena? That might spread peace a little faster. There's a lot of footwork here.
Saturday a month for at least a year in cities all across the world. This way, they can tell their government that they will not tolerate any of the wars, and the fighting and killing must stop now. Despite their best efforts, only 18 people backed.
Can you please stop killing? I can't keep dancing, man.
The project. Out of the $30,000 they wanted for this app, only about $2,300 was raised, which also begs the question as well, Nick. Instead of it being an app, couldn't this just be a YouTube video that you hope goes viral? You can't make money on it that way.
Exactly. How am I going to make the ad money from the app?
Make the ad money on the app, and then also, is it really a movement if people don't have it downloaded on their phone?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. I mean, think about how bad flash mobs already were. I mean, who wanted that? who?
I did not need to see all that. I'm gonna be honest, I just got impregnated visually.
Whoever saw a video and they're like, okay. People don't realize this, but we're about ready to transform this busy square into a dance party.
Well, it's because of High School Musical, I bet. They're like,
what?
I love High School Musical.
They saw High School Musical was so popular, so it's just like, let's just bust out and song and dance.
We watched this in my Discord forever ago.
And little, when you're in high school, did you guys film a flash mob for your senior?
We didn't do a flash mob, but it was one of those fucking videos that was like, it's like a person starting in a room and it's like a camera following them and they're like.
They made us do was it the Harlem Shake? That's what we had to do when I was in middle school.
You're singing a song to it, and they go to every room, and people are like singing the song and like dancing and stuff. It's so fucking cringe. But everyone did it. I don't know what the fuck was. I guess that's kind of a flash mob.
Oh yeah, I thought that's what flash mob was, but
flash mob is like you're having a cup of coffee in like at a town square, and all of a sudden all the business people walk around, stop, and they just start dancing. Like, that's a flash mob. It's a mob of people doing that. To me, a flash mob is like, you kind of spring it on random people that don't know what the fuck's going on. All I know is in my school, they did that Bon Jovi song, the "It's My Life, and It's Now or Never."
I think we did Dog Days or Machine.
How's that one go?
The Dog Days are
Dog Days.
Of course. That's a Dog Days, dog. In 2013, Doug Evans created an exciting product called Juicero that drew in a total of $120 million investments for juice.
$120 million? Nah, put that orange in between my butt cheeks. There you go. Enjoy. Oh, you wanted pulp?
Juicero! All right. Their main product, the Juicero Press, was essentially a fancy juicing machine. The catch is that the machine was only designed to work with Juicero's own branded product packs, which were fairly expensive for what they contained.
Dude, they do this now with bartending stuff too. Like, I think I was watching, what's the name of it? Cold Ones? And they had like a bartending machine, but you just basically poured the alcohol in and then it would like mix it together. But at that point, like, I basically made the drink. There was no point at all to having the machine.
Customers will pay for a subscription fee of $35 a week to regularly obtain these produce packs. $35 a week? The machine itself was overly complicated, requiring a Wi-Fi connection at all times to operate it, and each packet contained a QR code, which needed to be scanned by the machine.
The Nido said, just like a dishwasher. What did you call me?
Confirmed that it was both an official Juicero brand packet that wasn't expired. Which also, what kind of fucking Apple bullshit is that? You have to have Juicero packs. You can't throw a goddamn orange in the thing and it'll work.
Yes,
also,
this is slop. This is tech slop.
It's like a juicer for spacemen.
And there's gonna be me way too much stuff on my counter. I try to keep it clean and minimalistic.
Pack of goods.
Their whole thing was like, it's freshly squeezed, but it's in a bag. And all the machine does is just squeeze the bag.
So it's already a bag of juice.
This is like a Gordon Ramsay debacle when he goes in and they're like, yeah, we have fresh fish. Oh, yeah, it was fresh and then we froze it, but it's still fresh.
So you can literally just take the bag.
Can you just, yeah, I was like, can you just go, Juicero, go! My orange juice! At launch, the product cost a whopping $700 while the product was doing all right.
For bags? Just give me a straw! What the hell? 700? Why don't I just put my straw in the packet like a Capri Sun? But, I mean, if it has, like, RAM in it, we could just, like, buy the Juicero and then, like, take all the parts out and make a PC.
Right, during its initial launch, they were still losing money due to the high cost of producing it. What is this machine made out of, dude? It's made of gold. All the wiring is gold. Things took a turn for the worst, however. No. When Bloomberg exposed them by revealing that the juicer itself was not necessary to consume the drink.
What? What is the point? What is the point of selling the entire machine, man?
Who thought that you needed the, I mean, it's a bag of juice. Cut a hole in it and put a straw in the bag. You got juice on the go. The company shut down entirely by September of 2017 and was mocked every step of the way. That has to be the worst product I've heard so far. There's got to be worse, but I'm just saying. In terms of like non-harmful, stupid waste of technology, that's got to be it. In terms of like non-harmful, stupid waste of technology, that's got to be it. Some Kickstarter.
They were trying to do the Keurig model, but for juice. Isn't like Keurig constantly getting ridiculed for filling up landfills and stuff with just a bunch of plastic all the time too? Like I would get so far away from any model even remotely close to a Keurig. Looky, thanks 100 bits.
Creators simply aren't equipped to handle the pushback that a poorly run campaign.
Ouya is the fart of video gaming. That is true, brother. That is mega true.
Brings from their backers, like the creator of Pictures for Sad Children. John Campbell produced a webcomic of the same name in 2007, which focused on dark and absurdist humor that people really seem to connect with. The success prompted a Kickstarter campaign in 2012 that would raise money to produce physical copies of the comic. The $8,000 goal was exceeded, hitting over $50,000. Instead of this ending as yet another Kickstarter success story from a young artist, future updates to the campaign took a strange turn. John would post a lengthy post about their withering emotional state, treating the update tab on the campaign as more of a venting.
Oh my god, shut up. Why are we venting on a product page?
Space. It turns out that the pressure was too much, and John would express their anger by posting a video update titled, "It's Over." In it, the text reads 127 emails about this book. The video then shows 127 books being burned in a bonfire.
I think I read about the book about burning books when I was in ISS in high school. Also, I should not have been in in-school suspension, by the way. I was framed. Just letting you know now, I should not have been there.
Over ominous music. John reveals that the last 25% of the books will not be shipped and refunds will not be processed before threatening to burn one book for every future message received about it.
What happened? Dude, it was because, I'll tell the story, and if you've heard it before, you can skip through it. What happened was I was in class. This kid and I both had these giant sticks and we were like beating each other up with it, but like not for real, like just like kind of like jousting, I guess. And this one kid came up to us and he said, "If you hit her one more time as a man, you need to stop. I'll lay you out." I was like, what? So then he tapped me. The dude, it hit him in the face. And I went to ISS for sparking a fight. I was just there. What the hell? I was so mad, man. My mom picked me up. She started laughing her butt off. She was like, "Well, did he punch him?" And I went, "Yes." And she said, "Ha ha ha."
Along with the video came a novel-sized post that went from long personal stories to criticisms of capitalism. One quote reads, "If you would like a refund, please contact a fan of my work directly for your money. This is where the money would come from anyway. I am cutting out the middleman." For the most part, John erased all social media as well as the original webcomic archives. People still speculate about what had happened in the first place, with many assuming it was related to intense drug use or simply untreated mental health problems.
Okay, I was reading his comic that he made. Are multi-blade razors actually a scam? You know, now that I think about it, I think that if you go to like the barber shop and they like cut your beard or your hair, that's just like one big blade, right? So that is a scam! Dude, they taught me something through a comic book! This is awesome!
First place, with many assuming it was related to intense drug use or simply untreated mental health problems. Which, here's the thing. If this was like, which I don't know if this is the case, if this was a Tumblr artist, does it not make sense that your update page would read the same? Granted,
Yeah.
I think
That's what I thought earlier when I said Tumblr. I guess I was right.
if you have something where somebody's paid for it, you gotta fulfill the obligation. Even if you are super late, I think that as long as you're like, I'm getting to it, this was way more than I expected, I'm having a hard time with it. I think if you're transparent, honest, people will be mad, but I think it's like, I'm trying my best to do it. And you're
At least they see that you're making an effort rather than just like, I'm done. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, or No Man's Sky. That's a great example.
trying to be honest with it. Going on a hate campaign and burning books because you're like, I don't know, upset with other people, no bueno. There's a lot of times I've seen, like I have a bunch of comic book buddies, like my buddy Jim MaFood. He just did an amazing like Batman parody that was just all like, it's like a savage Batman book. Put it up here, it's really good. He had a successful campaign and stuff, but he asked other
He's like a really good artist, right? I think so.
other Kickstarter people being like, what's the best way to go about this? You know, other comic book people. I mean, like, I would just reach out to other people that have done that campaign. Also, you're human, dude. Mistakes happen. Once again, shout out Jim MaFood and also Jake. What up, both of them? Two awesome comic book artists, and also my buddy Baltimore. I have too many comic book friends.
I miss drawing, man. I think I'm gonna pick it back up again. I need a hobby other than being chronically online.
But I've known these people for a while, and I love all of them. Baltimore, there's his art. It's very good. His comics are very good. Jake, he just loves my storyboard art, but also he's an amazing comic book artist. And Jim, there you go. Watch out for their Kickstarters. Maybe they have one. I feel like a lot of the Kickstarters, it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Outdoors for Everyone project was a failed Kickstarter created by David Mills. His goal was to allow old, disabled, or underprivileged people to enjoy beautiful nature settings they could never visit. Not by taking them there, but by creating gigantic, high-quality prints they could look at, which...
Okay.
It sounds pretty silly, but I can see that being like a noble cause. You'll never go there. Don't...
I can't. It sounds way worse when it's framed like that.
I mean, you look at that. It's pretty, right? You'll never be there, but this is kind of like it.
That looks like my room.
These photos, which they refer to as big, awesome photos, would be displayed as an hour-long slideshow presentation.
What?
Oh, how insulting is that? When it was made clear that the crew would have to travel to all of these nature spots and national parks themselves to take the photos, people started to claim that this was all an elaborate
Oh, they want to take the pictures, but they want to get paid to go on vacation. This is kind of like the Adam Sandler method. He always filming movies with his friends in like the Bahamas.
Play for them to fund a nationwide vacation, which does sound more likely. I will say this. There are things called translights, and there are like backdrops to shows. These, I mean, just to print, I don't know, like a 20-foot wide one, they could cost like 30 grand. So then if you want, and that's a high quality print. That's
okay. I don't mean to be like looking way too much into this, but like, couldn't VR pretty much solve this? Because then you could just like wear a headset and look at anywhere? Wouldn't VR be better than just a picture? Nilla, thanks 100 bits. Everything the light touches. Oh, I'm not reading that.
it's like, you know, I would say it's like, it's not paper, it's actual fabric that's gonna.
What if they don't have a head, Barry? Okay, let's think really long and hard about the statement you just made. How would they see the picture?
That's like you know, I would say it's like, it's not paper, it's actual fabric that's gonna last, you know, it looks good from a distance, all that kind of stuff, right? That you'll see in a show. $185,000 does sound like it's just like, this is for me and my boys to go take the photos for like a year. We can all take off our jobs for a year, we can get paid, we're my boys to go take the photos. $1 does sound like it's just like, this is for me and my boys to go take the photos for like a year. We can all take off our jobs for a year, we can get paid, we're not losing any revenue, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing that, you're trying to emulate it being like, oh, I'm looking out into a thing. Yeah, not just a frame picture.
That'd be more of like a virtual
Yeah, see, I told you VR.
reality thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, get a VR headset.
Yes.
Which even then, it's like, yeah, just put on a fucking Apple headset or whatever and just be like, holy shit. The project would only receive $1,453, and Kickstarter soon suspended the projects so backers would not be charged. People saw through that so clearly. Yeah. I do like the angle, though, of people, you know 100% him and his boys were like, well, people are going to know that we're just like going around taking a vacation. Not if we tell them it's for disabled people. Not if we tell them it's for old and sick people. Among the many project genres Kickstarter offers, games are probably among the most, if not.
Wait, ukulele was a Kickstarter? I didn't know that. Dude, there's so many games that actually started from like crowdfunding that I had no idea.
Not the most popular on the entire platform.
Wow.
In 2017, a new MMO project called Ash of Creation was launched,
What
and
is
over the
this?
last decade, it has raised over $3 million.
What? 3 milli? Damn, they better have a lot of polygons. What the hell?
While in development. However, at the beginning of the year, the creative director and co-founder Stephen Sheriff stepped down from his position due to the ethical conflicts with.
Okay, I'm gonna read this as fast as I can. I can make a limited statement in personal capacity that's not on behalf of the company regarding the situation. Control of the company shipped away from me, and the board began directing actions that I would not ethically agree with or carry out. As a result, I chose to resign in protest rather than lend my name or authority to decisions I could not ethically support. Following my resignation, much of the senior leadership team resigned. Following those departures, the board made the decision to warn act notices and proceeded with a mass layoff. I cannot reasonably speak to further details at this time until the ongoing legal and governance matters. What I can say is that the developers and the staff acted in good faith and deserve better than the uncertainty that they are now facing. I am incredibly dismayed by the situation, Stephen.
With the board of directors. This led most of the staff to leave, and the entire project was scrapped, including the Steam page, which had already been selling an early access version. Since thousands of people had already purchased early access to the game, I
don't mean to be a hater, but like they all look like they're in a different game. Like, what is the function? We're all wearing something different.
Early access to the game, Steam had begun issuing refunds to anyone who bought it. For those who were still in the company, the board laid off the remaining staff and closed the studio. Many former employees later said they never received the
But they had mining, and if they had fishing, it would have been a slam dunk.
final paycheck and sued for
Never mind.
unpaid wages.
It's like a big one. 'Cause
Yeah.
my buddies actually paid full price for it, and then it was only up for a month.
No shit, Ashes of Creation?
I think they're doing one last like
bad.
pump and dump. Basically, they're like, let's release this in early access, get as many people to buy,
And then just bail.
and then bail. And then Steam actually locked their funds, so they could not pull them out.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Damn.
There's so many different kinds of these games where I feel like it's released for a day. Well, are you talking about the one that was like released for a day and they just shut it down entirely? I forgot what its name is. I'm not good with video game names, but I feel like there's a ton of them that do.
Oh, Concord moment. Live Concord reaction.
This kind of shit. Also, I want to say $3 million over the course of 10 years. It's not a lot. They had to have probably some other kind of backing that they didn't tell people about.
They had private investors come in.
So that's probably why they also dumped it, because those private investors probably came in there like, we're going to fucking kill you unless you give us money. Mythic, The Story of Gods, was announced in early April of 2012 as a mythology-based RPG.
That's cool, though. I wonder what happened, because I like any mythology stuff. I kind of want to start watching mythology videos on YouTube, but the problem is I get like in trouble for everything that's dangerous. And there's a lot of dangerous lore in mythology that I do not want to get another community strike for.
The company behind the game boasted that it had ex-Blizzard employees and even Disney and Pixar employees working on animations. It didn't take long for the game to gain traction and raise close to $5,000 toward its $80,000 goal.
Wow.
However, some people felt something was off. Yeah. A video game, first off, $5,000 is, I mean, is that gaining traction? I guess. But then also $80,000 to make an MMORPG?
It's pretty low.
That is, or
No.
It's like a little kid, but he made the Kickstarter.
After doing a little digging, people found that the entire campaign was a mix of other games, projects, and businesses. For starters, the art of the game was stolen from other games, and the pictures of the company's office.
Dude, they
in
clocked
businesses. For starters, the
them.
art of the game was
Look at all this. They stole everything. What the hell?
stolen from other games, and the pictures of the company's office were real photos taken from random design
Wait, their office has photos from other studios? Was anything true at all?
companies. Furthermore, all of the reward tiers on the Kickstarter page were just copied from other projects. It didn't take long for news outlets to
Wow.
pick up the story and spread the word about the scam. Not even a month after it was announced, the Kickstarter was canceled and the scammers disappeared. Thankfully, no backers ever lost any money since the project
good.
didn't reach its goal. So that's
Oh, that's what I asked about earlier.
good. Molly Frederick had begun to create a high sci-fi board game called Catalca.
Metallica, that sounds cool.
Metallica, which focused on, quote, the experience of living as a member of the stellar consciousness of the galaxy. Like some
Okay.
Evangelion ending, like the series. Shit. According to her, it's a cross between Risk and Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Now you're speaking my language. A decent-sized audience of interested people easily hit the goal of $7,500, which allowed Molly to regularly post updates
Wow.
and stay ahead of schedule. When the product was ready to be shipped out, delays started to frustrate people who would go on to critique her in the comments of the campaign. Things all changed one day when Molly started posting weird updates to explain why.
The spiritual side of this has been calming down a lot in the last month or two as I have been working through some more complex details behind the spiritual plasma attacks that have been trying to destroy me since 2008. What?
things were being delayed. Apparently, it no longer had to do with just printing issues, because she was now being harassed by celestial mass claiming... What? She was now being harassed by a celestial mass claiming to be the sun.
The flood!
I mean, do you just see that Kickstarter post and you're like, awesome? Like, when it comes to...
Yeah, like I already backed it. I freaking got the $1,000 backing and I'm like, no.
This is like, I'm actually, I mean, it's horror, it's heartbreaking. I'm paraphrasing this because what I want to say is I would see that and be like, no way, mental breakdown, sick. Even though I know it's wrong, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, if you saw the update, you're like, oh, cool, update. Oh. Not only was she being harassed by the sun all day, it was urging her not to release the board game for fear that it would reveal too many cosmic secrets.
Oh
She
my
also claimed that
God.
the U.S. Navy was watching her because her board game referenced experimental plasma technology. A little bit of gang stalking in there too.
Maybe she went like schizophrenic. I guess, can you like develop that later in life? I'm actually not sure. Because anytime I hear somebody say they're like scared of the government, my brain always goes to like, oh, okay, well maybe they're like schizophrenic. You can, sadly. That is so scary.
I love that. I love that cosmic horror with just a dash of gang stalking. Many of the people in the comments were being supportive. What? I'm sorry the sun is watching you and the Navy is also on your back. Keep your secret, sister. One man in particular, however, pretended to be the sun and started urging her to buy 30 gallons of gasoline and light a nearby school on fire.
Liquid
Jesus
sun!
Christ. God damn. See, now that's a problem. When you know you're openly talking to a mentally unwell person, yeah, get 30 gallons of gasoline and fucking set a school on fire.
That has got to be illegal, right? Just like telling somebody who's obviously going through something to do something actually extremely evil, you have to get in trouble for that. There's no way. Like if they actually did it, that guy would be screwed.
Yeah, I tapped 2 islands, I'm gonna play Counterspell. Updates would continue all the way up until 2023, and in the end, only a small number of people would actually ever receive the game, making it some sort of collector's item. Everyone else was left behind, despite putting in money and followed the project for years. Which I gotta say, it has to be some kind of like religious tome now.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
she actually released something.
Dude, one board game that I actually did buy recently was Slay the Spire, the board game. Actually pretty fun, really cool. It just took me forever to set up though because you have to sleeve all the cards and then like punch everything out. But it is really cool.
It's insane that the person who was talking to a celestial mass pretending to be the sun and being gang stalked by the U.S. Navy actually fulfilled more products than 99% of the Kickstarters that like scam people. I thought there was some good intention down there.
Good on you, Molly. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like she's having a mental...
And yes, I mean, she was having a bit of some mental oopsie daisy, basically, yeah.
Or do you think she was just faking it to get out?
No.
No, that seemed too real. I can tell when people, I guess, have the intent to scam. Like, nothing against people who draw stuff, but I can tell when somebody is just like not getting back to me about an artwork because they just like haven't been working on it. Like it didn't have that energy. It seemed like she was really going through something.
I think that if you no. I think that she was probably going through some shit. With the intention still of being like, I want to release this thing, but like physically and mentally I cannot. Most Kickstarter projects rely on advertising and backer interest to succeed. But some people skip making a product entirely and just use the platform to beg for money. Many attribute the rise of beg.
Okay, this is like one of those anti-Kickstarters that actually end up working because people want to say, you know what, I did back the potato salad. That was freaking awesome.
On Kickstarter to
But this only works like 1 or 2 times because after the first time, it's really not funny anymore. Like people are like, okay, I'm kind of over it.
A 2014 project in which a man simply asked for $10 to make a potato salad. The Kickstarter would go viral and receive over $55,000 in donations and spawn countless other projects similar to it that were just asking for money. See,
they gotta be putting like truffle or something in there. Maybe like some gold leaf or I guess graded dollar bills.
In the success from all the potato salad clones, lots of young children and teens started getting on Kickstarter and asking for
help me buy equipment to record and stream. $1? Oh, I thought he only wanted $1, but he won $794. Dude, I don't know. I really don't think kids should just be on Twitch or on YouTube streaming. Like that is so dangerous. Like there are some weird people out there, man.
Anywhere from $800 to $2,000 for a gaming setup. And most of the time, the reason they needed such expensive rigs is they wanted to start a gaming YouTube channel or to start streaming, which if I saw that, I'd do. Nope. I'd rather have a just kid be like,
There sure are. Why are you looking at me? Weird people is very... I'm a very normal, well-adjusted person, man. I, like, do my taxes. Could a normal person do that? And I uninstalled League of Legends, all right? All right, you got me, you got me.
just really want a good system so I can play games on the highest quality. I would be more swayed by that. Listen guys, crowdfunding sites are a wonderful thing. After all, there are all sorts of creative people who with brilliant ideas that simply don't have the money to make them a reality, or they don't have the means of getting self-started. They're not business minded enough to take this thing to the next level. So sometimes Kickstarter can just be like, hey, this is my sick idea, do you like it? Pretty cool. Because Kickstarter can be a little risky as far as getting refunded from an unfulfilled project, the many scam campaigns on the site may make you extra hesitant to...
Dude, we watched that Ouya video. I didn't remember them making $8.5 million on that shit. Oh my God. 8.5 million to play Angry Birds on your TV?
Open your wallet. But if it's a project you really believe in, maybe throw a few bucks into something if you think it's worth it. Because hey, sometimes the good shit will never be seen, right? You gotta kind of dig for the good shit. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We will see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you're new here, please check out the original channel and come by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/BerryCrepe. And what is that thumbnail? Let me cover up the pregnant woman. And use code Berry for 10% off your gamer subs order. I hope you have a great evening. Goodbye, YouTube!